And just like that, the rain stopped. We're gonna try this again since I keep trying to record this, but I'm either getting interrupted by where I'm at, so I moved to this secluded park, and then we get this very strange guy driving around in a giant conversion van with rims on it that keeps passing by but not actually getting out of his van to do anything in the park. So let's film this. This is my 1983 DJ5 made by AM General. So you may be asking yourself, what powers a beast like this? Well, I'm about to show you what powers a beast like this. It is a Iron Duke motor. 4 cylinders, next to no horsepower. This thing will barely get 65 miles an hour. But let me put the hood latches back on it. As you see, it is pretty much the way I've got it. I've had it for about 4 years, and I've never wished it once. It sat under a tree. That's where it got all this glorious patina on it. But I'll do a little quick walk around the way it looks. Got your vents. You can see the one open on the other side. I haven't opened this side because nobody's sitting over there, so why do I need air blowing in that way? And back here you see the glorious back of it, and the AM General logo right there under the lichen, which is very uncommon. Most of these had a Jeep logo on the back of them. Let me open back here. There's some junk that's fell in there because this has a very lack of storage and some random thing that they let people sit on if they want to ride in here, as there is no second seat. I've replaced this back lip right through here. I've replaced this side. The center was fine on that side. It's better than just replacing the whole floor, since I got a good center and I would have had to make a spot to access that fuel sending unit if I wanted to. The tape's on here because of this nasty that somebody had gluing this rug down over top a 2x4 and some plywood when I got it. I need to repair this. This was going when I replaced the floor, but not as bad as it is now, and that's why we have this patented door holder closer that I put around that hook when I get it going, because the door will pop open from time to time. One thing I've really done to this was I put a new tank under it. I got lucky with this tank because it's been out of production for 5 years prior to when I started looking for it, and I found the only good one on eBay that was brand new from the company that did make the reproductions. But they stopped making the reproductions, and I got it for less than what it would have cost new. It was just one of those chance incident things where you're lucky enough to be on eBay at the right place in the right time, because I know there's a lot of people looking for these tanks. But let's see some of the decals. You got your warnings, your VIN plate, your unleaded fuel only, look before backing up. And you're pretty simple. You get your amperage, you get your fuel and temperature and speedometer, and you get your oil pressure. Here's the specs for the vehicle, and some more warnings about its handling capabilities, because they are less than stellar. And here's the patented mouse hole that was here when I got it through the headliner. The headliner is just cardboard wrapped in paper. You've also got these vents right here, which are actually rather helpful. So anyways, let's take this for a ride, and I'll show you how that's like. Now let's take this thing for a ride that I've switched to the GoPro. It moved a little bit because that creepy van I told you about was still circling me, so I didn't feel like dealing with that while I was trying to record. So we moved over to the post office. What a great place to start a test drive of this Postal Jeep than at the post office, correct? I hope you can hear me all right, considering I've got the GoPro on my head and I don't know how the audio quality is. One thing about this seatbelt, I don't know if you can see this seatbelt, but once you pull it out, it locks. It does not, once it goes back, it will not go back anymore. So you gotta pull it out, put it around you, Make sure your safety rope's on so your door doesn't pop open. Retract it. And holy lost the door. Look, see, that's why the door rope's here. Let's start this thing and take it for a drive. Oh, did you hear all this glorious horsepower? Well, now back to the seatbelt since I'm here. This seatbelt has that great locking feature. I mean, it's awesome so you don't get falling out of the door. I'm sure those seatbelts have the same locking feature. But it's not so awesome when, let's say, you're driving along, minding your own business in your Postal Jeep, and there's a speed bump. So you hit the speed bump, and when you hit the speed bump, you sink down because the springs compress some. Now when the springs compress some, you've sunk in your seat, the seat belt's drawn up on you, and now it's crushing you. So now you either have to unbuckle your seat belt with the doors open, which is rather uncomfortable because unlike a Wrangler or a DJ5 or DJ7 for that matter, there's no little lip. If you go out, there's nothing to catch you. So you have to unbuckle this seat belt while you're moving, let it recline all the way back in, and then put it back on. And let's not hope that you hit another bump again, because you're going to have to do it all over again. This thing is rather loud, as you can hear, especially this knob right here. It rattles like the dickens. You can wedge a piece of cardboard in there to make it stop, but I mean, why? That'll take from the whole experience of driving this phenomenal vehicle around. Let's see if we can make this turn without flipping it over. That's another little aspect it doesn't like. It's kind of built like a refrigerator, and it pretty much handles like one. So we'll head down this way and get some fuel. But as I said, I mainly use this kind of like a small UTV or a Gator, but with a much more awesome heater than driving around in my open Gator I had at the farm. So I mainly use this to look at cattle or get some wood to transport it from point A to point B. It's great for what it is, but it is a rugged ride. I've had a lot of vehicles in my day and nothing rides as bad as this. Let's go head over here and get some fuel while we still can. Oh, you gotta love the manual brakes as well. No power brakes are awesome. So we'll pull over here and get some fuel before I run out, and then I have to push this thing. Because nobody wants to push this, right? Look at that. $3 a gallon, basically. If you want to get mid-grade. Or if you're wanting to get the cheap stuff, you can get it for less than $3. That's frickin' ridiculous. Let's get around this corner. This will be awesome. Full speed ahead. Oh, pin it. That glorious acceleration. That's full throttle right there. Yup, almost 35. Okay, we've made it. Get to a spot where I can go 55 that's fairly flat and not too far outside of town, because I really don't want to drive this too far outside of town. It's not too pleasant at those kind of speeds. Alright, we're going to give this a good shake. I'm going to pin it as soon as I come out of here. It's mostly flat. We'll see how long it takes to get to 55. Watch it. Well, that thing really shifted, didn't it? Okay, 55. And it slows down right here to 35 anyways, so that was a good test. See, it's not very pleasant, and it doesn't really like going that fast. It doesn't do it well at all. Yeah, this is the thing. The gauges get stuck. You bang on them, the oil pressure, or this. Look at, I fixed it. Did you see that? I fixed it. I knew it was running a little high because this battery should be, for the most part, charged, not clear up on 40 on this amperage gauge. But yeah, that is a thing, believe it or not.